Brothers and sisters, and friends, and I see some enemies. In fact, I think we'd be fooling ourselves if we didn't realize that there were some enemies present. I would like to clarify some things that refer to me personally concerning my own personal position.
I'm no politician. I'm not even a student of politics. I'm not a Republican, nor a Democrat, nor an American, and got sense enough to know it. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. I'm one of the 22 million black victims of the Democrats. One of the 22 million black victims of the Republicans, and one of the 22 million black victims of Americanism.
With the rest of the month. With the rest of the month. You all bring no drum for me.
And when I speak, I don't speak as a Democrat or a Republican. I speak as a victim of America's so-called democracy. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. Why does this loom to be such an explosive political year? Because this is the year of politics. This is the year when all of the white politicians are going to come into the community. You never see them until election time. You can't blame them until election time. They're going to come in with false promises. And as they make these false promises, they're going to feed our frustration. And this will only serve to make matters worse.
And you ain't black.
They've been down there for years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last.
The time when people can come in our community and get us to vote for them so that they can be our political leaders and tell us what to do and what not to do is long gone. By the same token, the time when that same man, knowing that your eyes are too far open, can send another into the community and get you and me to support him so he can use him to lead us astray, those days are long.
They're acting like they can't hear me.
I can hear you.
We all have the same problem. We suffer political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation. The government itself has failed us. And the white liberals who have been posing as our friends have failed us. You can't deny that. Anytime you live in the 20th century, 1964, and you walking around here singing, "We shall overcome," the government has failed. He tricked you, had you marching down to Washington. Yes, had you marching back and forth between the feet of a dead man named Lincoln and another dead man named George Washington, singing, "We shall overcome." When we look at other parts of this earth upon which we live, we find that black, brown, red, and yellow people in Africa and Asia are getting their independence. They're not getting it by singing, "We shall overcome." He made a chump out of them. He made a fool out of them. He made you think you were going somewhere, and you end up going nowhere but between Lincoln and Washington. This is part of what's wrong with you. You do too much singing. Today it's time to stop singing and start swinging. We have to become involved in a program of re-education to educate our people into the importance of knowing that when you spend your dollar out of the community in which you live, the community in which you spend your money becomes richer and richer. The community out of which you take your money becomes poorer and poorer. And because these Negroes who have been misled are breaking their necks to take their money and spend it with the man is becoming richer and richer, and you're becoming poorer and poorer. And then what happens? The community in which you live becomes a slum. It becomes a ghetto. The conditions become run down. And then you have the audacity to complain about poor housing in a rundown community. Why, you run it down yourself when you take your dollar out. Not only do we lose by taking our money someplace else and spending it, when we try and spend it in our own community, we're trapped because we haven't had sense enough to set up stores and control the businesses of our community. Anywhere we go, we find that we're trapped. And every kind of solution that someone comes up with is just another trap. We must understand the politics of our community. And we must know what politics is supposed to produce. We must know what part politics play in our lives. And until we become politically mature, we will always be misled, led astray, or deceived or maneuvered into supporting someone politically who doesn't have the good of our community at heart. So this government has failed us. And once we see that all these other sources to which we've turned have failed, we stop turning to them and turn to ourselves. We need a self-help program. A do-it-yourself philosophy. A do-it-right now philosophy. It's already too late philosophy. This is what you and I need to get with. And the only way we're going to solve our problem is with a self-help program. Before we can get a self-help program started, we have to have a self-help philosophy. And you and I have to make a start. And the best place to start is right in the community where we live. We should own and operate and control the economy of our community. Control the housing, control the education, control the jobs, control the businesses. And I don't believe in fighting today in any one front, but on all fronts. So our people not only have to be re-educated to the importance of supporting black business, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into business, the importance of setting up these little stores and developing them and expanding them into larger operation. And once you and I go into business, we own and operate at least the businesses in our community. What we will be doing is developing a situation wherein we will actually be able to create employment for the people in the community. And once you can create some employment in the community where you live, it will eliminate the necessity of you and me having to act ignorantly and disgracefully, boycotting and picketing someplace else, trying to beg him for a job. Anytime you have to rely upon your enemy for a job, you're in bad shape.
So I say in my conclusion, the only way we're going to solve it, we got to unite. Join any kind of organization, civic, religious, fraternal, political, or otherwise. That's based on lifting the black man up and making him master of his own community. And all we have to do now is wake up and work in unity and harmony, and the battle will be over. And I want them to know that anything that I can ever do at any time to work with anybody in any kind of program that is sincerely designed to eliminate the political, the economic, and the social evils that confront all of our people in Detroit and elsewhere, all they got to do is give me a telephone call and I'll be on the next jet right on into the city.